Okay, moving along. This is kind of part two of the second step. So once you get your voice sounding good and the levels are looking good, and you're happy with where it's going to sit in the mix, then it's time to start looking for some other sound effects and music, beats, different things like that that you can add to your sweeper to just make it more ear catching and interesting to listen to. More fun, basically. And so, where you're going to find those, there's two places. I know that some of these categories look really promising, like sounds, drums, instruments. Those all sound like they're good ideas, but they're not. Don't go there because they will send you to different things that we aren't learning about right now. Really, the only option in categories is samples. These are pre recorded sounds that you can import in just like your voice, but they're going to be your instruments, your beats, your things like that, right? So, um, there are thousands of samples though, so you don't have time to listen to all of them. So what I would recommend you do is look for certain things. Like for instance, I want to add like a drum beat, and so I can type in the word beat in the search engine up top, and then anything with the beat in the title will stay in the list. And it's still a fairly long list, but it's a lot more manageable now. And then I can start listening to these different beats, finding something that I think will fit mine well. Like that one's kind of cool. So when you find one that you like, and spacebar will stop, otherwise it'll just keep playing over and over again. When you find one that you like, just click on it and you can drag it anywhere in the screen. Don't put it on the same track as your voice. You want to put it on its own track. Um, and I would recommend starting to kind of like think about how you want your sweeper to go. So maybe I want to start with this drum idea. And so I'm going to put it very first happening. And then you can see my voice is way over here. And so I might want to like grab all these pieces and just drag them over. Our finished product needs to be 10 to 15 seconds long. And the time's just down here, right? So you can kind of see like it all needs to fit in that narrow of a space. Let's say I want to have this drum beat going for the entire sweeper though, but the sample's only this long. So a couple ways that you can extend it. The easiest way is just go to the upper left hand corner and your tool will change that little bracket and then you can just click and drag it out as long as you want it to happen. Okay. So I could just take it all the way to like that 15-second mark if I wanted. Another way to do that is you can just click on something and then push Command C for copy, and then you can click anywhere and push Command V and it will paste. And again, you can move that piece around if you want. And a third way, click on the sample and Command D is like a copy and paste in one function kind of. It copies and pastes it just right next to each other, and then you can again move that second one around if you want. So there's three different ways to get it to extend. I like the click and drag method because then I can get it exactly how I want. While I'm here too, I'll show you how to do a quick fade in and fade out on any sample. If you just hover over the waveform of the sample, you'll see these little squares appear in the corners. If you go up to the top square, you can click and drag that and do a fade out. So if I wanted the beat to kind of fade out at the end of my sweeper here, that would be a good, easy way to do that. And you can reshape that fade out by dragging in the middle here. And then same at the intro here. If I wanted like a fade in, I could just click and drag it like that. So that was a real quick way to do a fade in and fade out. And you can do that on your voice as well. I like to do that a lot of times just on the very beginning and ends of the clips just to kind of smooth out the transitions. You don't want to go over your voice because you can see it kind of like diminishes the volume level of your voice. But I could possibly look into doing that a little bit at the beginning of this one where I've got that one word that's a little bit loud. But be careful with doing this. This is not really a good way to fix audio problems. If you have a plosive at the very beginning, that could help with that. But this is kind of like a longer entire word that's a problem, this may not be the best way to try and deal with that. So I'm actually just going to probably do that short little fade in like that. So I've got a beat. You can look for other sounds as well. You know, you can type in like keys if you want some piano. That's kind of cool. Maybe I want that at the very end. If you run out of tracks, you can just click where it says drop files and devices here, and you can create new tracks. I would recommend that you don't put any sound effects on tracks where you already have other sounds. So try and just keep one type of sound per track. It'll help when you're mixing it later. So that could be like a cool ending. You'll find that most of your pre-recorded sounds are going to be too loud when you bring them in compared to your voice. And so I would recommend double clicking on the sample. Like here's my drum beat. And same thing what we did with the voice to kind of up their levels. You can use this to lower the levels of the beat so that it doesn't bury your voice. And I'll do the same thing with this keyboard part here also. And let's play it, see what that sounds like. To get back to the beginning of your sound file, you can either just hover over anywhere up here and use that speaker, click at the beginning, or you can push Option and the over arrow will take you back to the very beginning. Oh, I've still got the loop turned on. Haha, that's why. Weird. We'll do that. So here is my sweeper so far. Hi, I'm DJ Big Beats. And this is Fast Forward Radio. Big Beats from the small school with a big heart. Cool. I didn't hear that little piano thing. Oh, I lost my sample. This happens sometimes. If a sample goes offline, you should see a little orange bar appear down here, and if you double click on it, it will take you up to a window over here, and then there'll be a go button over here that you can push on, and that should bring your sample back. Mine's not coming up though, so luckily I just have it right here. I can just do it again real quick. Just kind of get that back where I want it and bring the volume down. There we go. Let's try just that ending again. Big Beats from the small school with a big heart. Cool. And then one other thing that I want at the end here is like a heartbeat sound. And there's one other place that you can find cool samples. If you go down under places, there is a sound effects folder that you can click on. And this is a bunch of like just, random sound effects like air whooshing and airplanes and aliens and cows mooing and, like babies crying, like all sorts of like weird random things that you might want to put in. And I'm going to just type up here heart. And there's a nice heartbeat right there that I think would be cool to put at the end. So I'm going to just click and drag that. And again, I'll just kind of put it at the end here. And in this case, this sample is too long. It goes on for too long. So I'm actually going to shorten it up. And, I just want to go to that 15-second mark, basically. And I'll put a fade out on this also. And I might actually turn this one up a little bit. Looks like it's going to be a little bit quiet. Okay. And now I have 3 different sound effects paired with my 3 different voice clips. I'm going to shrink up this track so I can see everything kind of all at once. Bring this down. There we go. So there's my sweeper. Looking pretty good. So in the final video, I'll show you how to just kind of wrap this up and submit it. So that's it for this one for now.